Watch fans, today we are back and we are looking at the holy grail of watches. Now, when you say holy grail, you can only be talking about one brand and include that term. So yes, we're going to be looking at one of the Patek Philippe models that is definitely going to knock your socks off. We're going to be introducing to you today the 5270G. This watch is more than amazing. It has so many features that are compacted into one small watch that truly shows its craftsmanship, the artisanship, but even more than anything else that I can actually say, why it is the grail watch to have. This piece is going to be one of those that you cannot find everywhere. In fact, when it was released, this was an applique watch or application watch. What that meant was that we actually had to sit down with you, do an interview, and you had to actually prove to us why you should be the person that was receiving this watch. It was not going to be one that we would have many of. A lot of people actually look online and check ChatGPT and they say things like, well, how many of this watch were released? Or I'm sure that there were tons that were released. You know, you're making it seem special. Please understand and remember that Rolex nor Patek never release how many watches they actually put out into the market. So those are just other customers and their ideas of what they believe. But please understand that that number is typically going to be long off unless they actually make that particular watch and say it's a limited edition and give you the numbered edition. Those are the only times that they mean for you to actually know. This is a prime example with the 5270G. I don't know if you know, but there are actually two models of this watch that were presented. The first one was actually going to be released and it was going to be put out for 2011 as its introduction, 2012, and then there would be very few that were released in 2013 as the newer model would be actually released during that year as well. And we're going to be taking a look at the secondary model, which will be released only from 2013 to 2015. So when you look at those things in themselves, we're basically letting you know there was a 2-year run, 2011 and 12 for the first 5270. And then that model number switched at the end. It's a 5270-1 for the first, but -13 for the second generation. And you will see that there's a difference on the dials. The one that we're actually exhibiting to you today at SwissWatchExpo is going to be the second generation. And I think it is the most amazing watch. The first generation does have a little bit more of a clean dial to it because there's one piece that's different on the dial itself. We're actually looking at it. There's a tachometer that's on the second one. This allows you to measure speed. Anything that you can measure in one unit, that's actually what you're going to be able to use it for. Whether it's that you have a beam factory or you're measuring whatever the case may be, a lot of times we do use it for speed, simply because we know that a minute is going to be 60, which is equivalent to an hour, which is 60. So we can actually use this to time how fast or slow a car actually may be performing at speed. So let's say, for example, if we were to actually start our clutch here, which is going to be the chronograph timer, and we pushed it and it started. As the seconds go by, it actually shows you around the track how fast you're going. 12 or the top going back to 60, which is where we started from at 0. So if it made it a full minute, then it tells us that that car is going at 60 miles an hour because that hour is equivalent to a minute. So if you stop it before and it's pointing at 200, you know that that car is going at about 200 miles per hour. That is something that is just fun to have on such a classic watch because you do not need it on something like this. But the craftsmanship is going to be so amazing on it that they're giving you that extra little bonus there basically for free because it's just added into the dial and it did not change the actual pricing of the watch, although it does change the value that is added there or perceived value that's actually added to the watch itself. I do love the fact that you have so many actual major complications that are put into this watch as well. So you're going to have some fun things like with that chronograph, we have a 30-minute counter, which is actually going to be on a sub dial, which is the smaller circles. And then on the other side, you'll have your 60-second counter, which is going to be there to actually represent or show you the 60 seconds. Because remember that chronograph and the 30-minute counter, those two run together. But with the large second hand that we grew up knowing to be a timing hand, it stopped. Please understand that is not your true second hand. It's going to be the sub dial or the register that's on the side. That's going to be your 60-second counter. Then you have fun pieces that actually go around. You can even see as the dial dips at the very bottom, which I really think is fun. The fact that they continue to let the track go, and it's actually at about 120 miles an hour is where it's showing if you were, again, measuring a car. But at that 6 o'clock position, they not only allowed you to keep the tachometer going right there, but what you actually have too is the fact that you have the date wheel that is going to be there. So it shows you the date. And then right above that, you actually have the moon phase. So it is a lunar calendar that's going to be actually set there as well. That's amazing because for this particular calendar, it only needs to be reset every 122 years. Could you imagine how accurate that actually has to be? And that's as long as you keep the watch going. Now, of course, if you let the watch power die out or you leave the watch sitting and it's not being worn or not on a winder, then yes, you will need to reset it. But if you continue the motion of this watch, you only have to actually set it once every 122 years. And I think that that is fantastic for the lunar calendar itself because that's less work that I have to do unless I'm just one of those people who choose that I like to play with my watch. So I do want to reset it from time to time just because it's a fun toy that I'm being able to wear and enjoy as an investment on my wrist, where I have the money here, wearing it on my wrist, instead of just leaving it in the bank, almost collecting dust when we look at how many points things are actually going to be returning for you right now, investment-wise. And this is one of those pieces that continues to give you that. Then we actually have with this same piece, you're going to have your standard time, which you should have, but you'll actually see how the letters and applique, everything is slightly different in color, so it becomes a little bit more easy to read. As you age, your retina is going to want one or two colors. It's going to want something a little bit lighter or a little bit darker. That's normal. When you see this change, that's actually why you will see most watch companies or watchmakers using dials that are going to be lighter color dials or darker color dials. Now, for this particular watch, this one does come in this opaline, which is kind of a actual silverish dial, and it's really fun, really light, but then the markers are all going to be darker, so it becomes a little bit easier to read with that contrast. I love the fact that, as I told you, this watch has only been made for a few years. It had about a 5-year run. Now, are there other versions out there? Yes. You're going to have the rose gold version that's out there, and you're also going to have a platinum version that's going to be out there. So you do get the different golds and the platinum option, but those are going to be spread throughout the years as well. It's not something that's continuous where you can just pick what you choose. Yes, the years that were available are those collection years, and those are things that you want to gravitate to. And currently right now, yes, the platinum and the rose gold are actually going to still be in function. But for this one on the white gold too, I actually even love how they concaved the bezel itself. So you can actually see where it's concaved. They gave more detailing to the lugs on the watch. So at 41 millimeters, this watch fits nice. But when you talk about lug to lug being just under 50, it's about a 49.5. That's actually really fun too, because if you have a smaller wrist, you're going to be able to wear this watch and it's still going to look good for your actual profile. Your profile on your wrist is going to be, if you notice where your bone starts to round on both sides, we like to say that that's the best way to measure how a watch should fit you. Now, for a gentleman as myself with football hands and wrists, of course, I want a piece that's going to be classic in size that I can also wear too. And this is one of those pieces that even for the guy with a larger wrist, he can wear it as well and be able to enjoy the watch for what it is. And when you talk about something being a grail watch, to be able to say that, you actually have to be able to prove it, which Patek has done on this one. The 5270G looks absolutely fantastic, and we haven't even begun to talk about the movement itself. We're not going to dive too deep into the movement because you can always give us a call here at the store. We'd love to go over it with you and be able to help you with this if you feel that this is the perfect watch for you. Looking at the movement itself, though, a few things I just want to make sure that you do know. This does have the Gyromax hairspring. What that basically means is this watch has been fine-tuned in all 5 positions for timing, and it is made to be a lot more shock absorbent. So if you're noticing that your watch is not keeping time, do understand everything that could have been done to prevent it has already been done. So when you're looking at things of warranties and different things like that, if you were to ever hear, oh, that's going to be outside of it or considered to be abuse, different things like that, that's the fun of it. You as a wearer get to know that because of the style that it is done in, If that is being presented to you, it's more than likely true because the Gyromax does allow for this to be more shock absorbent for everyday wear. So your watchmaker will actually be able to know what's going on with it and if it does need a true full service versus someone who's just trying to get a little money out of you. Here at Swiss Watch Expo, all those things have been done to make sure that it is in factory standards for you. So when you purchase this Grail watch, you'll be able to wear it and enjoy it. You won't have to worry about anything else. But we want to know what you think and what your comments are about this particular Patek. Where's somewhere that you maybe would wear it or someone that you may be able to give it to as a gift? Because remember, this can be passed down from generation to generation, as they would actually say at Patek, or you would hear from the Stern family, you never own this watch. You're simply holding it for the next generation. So that's something that we truly believe in, especially with Swiss Watch Expo being a family company, that it's going to be here generationally, and you can always depend on us to be here for you when you're deciding to choose the perfect Patek for you. Let us know what you think in the comments below.